Girl, I've tried to record this so many times and they're all like 10 minutes long, so I'm going to do my best, but there's a lot to cover, so please bear with me here. Quick disclaimer, I'm a single agent, which means I don't have a boss overseeing me and like pressuring me to hit certain sales numbers. I can just be fully transparent with my clients and help them decide what option is going to be best for them without pushing you unethically in any specific direction. So Kiana said that she is expecting her fourth, which is so exciting. She currently lives in Wesley Chapel and she's looking for a more family-friendly area, so she has her eye on Everbe and she's asked me my opinion, and girl, do I have opinion. We can totally hop on a call at some point to kind of discuss this more in depth, but the quick version is this. There are a lot of pros. I would imagine you already know that, otherwise you wouldn't have your eye on the community, right? But the amenities are insane. Miles of walking trails, pools, parks, playgrounds, a full-time lifestyle coordinator, someone who's going to help you as a busy mom of four alleviate a bit of your pressure by coordinating different events and activities throughout the community. So that part is really nice. That's honestly an enormous draw. I think the other main draw to me is the location, not because I'm just like obsessed with Lake Nona, but Lake Nona is a highly desirable area. It's going to be neighboring you. And that specific area puts you in a great spot to be conveniently located to the parks. You're not going to have a super long commute there. You're going to be close to the beaches. So that area is really nice. It's very central. If you travel a lot, it's also closer to the airport. And then I think the last thing that I definitely have to talk on is not super community specific, but it's just new construction in general. New construction builders are really just able to throw a lot at you guys to keep as much liquid in your pocket as possible and get you the keys to a new house. Builders can buy down your rates. Builders can offer closing cost credits. I have another builder who's offering to throw in a free golf cart to my buyers. So regardless of how you feel about new construction, they really do have a lot to offer buyers, and sometimes they're the best option for certain families. With that being said, this community could continue building houses for the next 10 years. We don't know. We don't know when they're going to be sold out. I bring this up now because I think a lot of agents are so hungry for a sale that they're pretty unethical about driving you guys to new construction and acting like they're getting you this killer deal without explaining the implications of that, and it's irresponsible in my opinion. So I'm going to explain it to you real quick. Most people end up moving within 7 to 10 years of buying a house. That's the average. Obviously, the goal is that we get you in there and you absolutely love it, but the likelihood is that within 7 to 10 years, your family is going to change in some way, and maybe there's going to be various reasons why you need a different home after that point. Now, imagine being a normal seller who is trying to offload this property in a community where the builder is still building new construction, meaning they're still offering closing cost credits and rate buy downs and brand new home warranties, customization options to all of these buyers. Inside tip, a lot of the times they're also offering really great agent compensation as well as bonuses to the agent, which is why agents love to drive you guys to new construction, at least part of the reason in my opinion. And as the seller, a lot of times you are going to be expected, just being real in today's market, to pay for the buyer's agent because that's kind of still the norm despite all this lawsuit stuff making people think otherwise. It is still expected. So how on earth are you going to afford to not take a loss on this home purchase and still highly incentivize agents so that they're willing to bring you buyers, and highly incentivize buyers so that they're willing to take your used home, as I've heard it called numerous times, over a brand new home that has full warranties, customization options, when you are probably not going to be able to afford to give them the same credits that a builder is going to be able to, or buy down their rate as much as a builder is going to be able to. Basically, we just got to make sure that you really do love it and that this is going to almost certainly be a very long-term commitment for you before we get you into that community and lock you into a position that's going to be kind of hard to get out of for like the next 10 years. Maybe everything's fine, and then your first week of living there, you go to enjoy your outdoor amenities because this community is very rich in that, and there's just a putrid smell following you guys around that you can't get over. Your kids are constantly complaining about it. They don't really want to be playing outside because it's stinky, and it's just frustrating, right? And you can't get rid of it, and you don't know what it is. That would be because this community is actually built next to a landfill. So it is a very strong rotten egg smell. It's been bothering residents in that area for a long time. And I know that what I'm saying sounds like, oh, but it's stinky over there, but it's something that you need to be aware of because these properties are not inexpensive in my opinion, and you're going to be paying for something that is going to have a foul odor around it. It's dependent on the wind. So just, whenever the wind blows, it's going to hit you. And although the government says that it is not harmful in small amounts, I mean, it's hard for a lot of people to get on board with that, knowing that they're smelling it. So they're actively breathing in a chemical. It just can't be good for us. I'm a little crunchy, so take that with a grain of salt. But I will say I've had many a buyer back away from homes in areas like this because they just have long-term health concerns about living in close proximity to something where you can smell the chemicals coming off of the landfill. It's something to consider, and let's say you're super committed to that neighborhood, you know you're going to be there for 10 plus years, you are not worried about the smell, maybe you have a terrible nose. Okay, great. So the other thing that we need to consider is that this area is very car dependent and there's a lot of ongoing construction that you're going to have to be okay with dealing with. You'd be taking Lee Vista and Narcoozy to get around a lot, and both of those streets have terrible Narcoozy specifically, oh my gosh, the amount of times that I've spent over an hour stuck there in bumper to bumper traffic. And yes, they're working on expanding it, but especially if you're taking kids around in rush hour or going to school and work at normal hours, it's something you're going to have to be dealing with. And by the time they finally get it expanded, communities like this will have drawn in so many more residents. I fear it's going to regenerate all of the congestion that they will have just alleviated. Piggybacking off of that aspect of new development. If you buy here, you're going to be living in a construction zone for what, 10 years, however long it takes them to sell out this community. And I think a lot of agents kind of tiptoe around that, and it results in really upset buyers because they don't realize what they're getting into. So we love the trades. We know that they do very hard, hot, back-breaking work for probably not that much money. But a lot of tradies have kind of impolite behaviors that a lot of buyers don't really appreciate. I have had buyers say that tradesmen are taking a nap on their front porch during their break and making them feel uncomfortable that there's literally a strange man sleeping outside their property. I have buyers constantly complaining that trades play really loud music during construction as a way to kind of pass the time in the heat. Construction is dirty and loud, and trades will often leave their trash everywhere, and there's dust blowing everywhere and loud construction vehicles. And the final thing that I want to talk to you about is not specific to this community at all. I don't want to put that on Pulte, but this is a thing that happens in pretty much every new construction community. I need you to understand that the builder is paying your buyer's agent, okay? So they understand that I'm bringing them a qualified buyer who's going to understand the ropes because I'm going to do the work of educating them, and therefore they are going to offer to pay my compensation and, like I said, sometimes a bonus. However, they are only going to do that if I'm the one making the connection between you, the buyer, and them, the builder. So if there's ever a situation where you're just naturally, like plenty of people, browsing online and you're getting really excited about a new construction community and you just have like a quick question and you decide to call, email, or pop into the community in person, if you're registering with them in any way, you are coming to them as an unrepresented buyer. And then the builder feels that the agent no longer made the connection, the agent's not doing their job, so I'm going to retain them as my own buyer. And I just want to be so crystal clear. I love plenty of builders reps. Like my Wellness Ridge builders rep is fabulous. However, we need to be aware that they're not all created equal, and most builders reps are of the mind that they're hired by the builder. Their job is to represent the builder, not you. Okay, it's my job to represent you. It's your buyer's agent's job to represent you, not the builder rep. Your agent needs to be present the first time that you interact with that builder, whether it's virtually or in person. That's how you secure the fact that you are allowed to have representation. Otherwise, you're going to end up like plenty of other people that I know who are in a transaction, and then all of a sudden things start to go kind of awry now that they've made their deposit and things are progressing, and they have no one that has their back and is actively working to represent them or advocate for them in the transaction because they did not go into it with having a buyer's agent secured up front. I know I just threw so much at you, so I'm sorry that that was so long. I really try to keep this short. It's impossible. But if you're interested in this community or any others, if you're interested in buying or selling, I would love to help you guys. Send me a message. I'm happy to represent you. Obviously, if you can't tell, I'll always be fully honest and transparent about everything. So my honest takeaways from all of this in like a brief summary is great amenities, great highway access, great and very convenient location. I think the area is going to continue to appreciate. However, we want to make sure that you absolutely love the area before you buy in because it is high risk if you plan to resell within like the next 10 years. We also want to make sure you're okay with living through a construction area and that you are okay with traffic and the possible smell that you're going to be dealing with pretty often. I'm not trying to skew you one way or the other. Truly, I don't care. It's not my decision. I just like to present all the information and help clients make the decision that's going to be best for them. So if you do want to move forward, let me know. Get in contact. I would love to help you guys out with next steps or just even exploring it as an option. And if not, that's totally okay. I would love to help you kind of be redirected to finding the correct area that's going to be the best fit for you and your family. And congratulations on your fourth. I feel like everybody is pregnant right now. There's like something in the water.